What's going on, guys? Today I just wanted to show you a quick video on your followers, kind of how to gear them, how their skills work, what skills to use, all that good stuff. And if you watched my last couple of videos, I wanted to apologize. The audio's been kind of goofy. My computer did an update, and then ever since then the audio has been all weird, you know. So I'm still trying to work on it. Get that audio a bit clearer again, so we'll see. But anyways, if you guys have seen most of, you know, my Witch Doctor Jade Greater Rift solo runs, you'll notice that I've been using the Enchantress lately. Most classes use the Templar, and for good reason. I mean, he helps with your resource regeneration, he helps with, you know, healing, keeping you alive, and he has a little bit of crowd control, so he's a pretty solid choice, right? But for the Witch Doctor, you kind of, I don't know, resource isn't a huge deal. For the Witch Doctor, you're never really out of resource, and you know, to be honest, when you're pushing higher, greater rifts and stuff, you're just gonna die anyway. Like you get one or two shotted a lot. So if you know, his heals aren't doing anything, so you kind of, I don't know, it takes two of his four skills kind of out of the usefulness, right? But I'll go ahead and show you why I like the Enchantress, how to gear the Enchantress, and all of that good stuff. So for her skills, her first skill is called Charm, and it makes an enemy fight for you for 8 seconds. So it's not about the damage that the enemy is doing for you, it's about taking one enemy out of the fight. You know, that's one less chance to get one-shotted and killed, right? The other option for this first skill is Forceful Push, and it's absolutely awful, especially with the Jade Witch Doctor, because the Jade Witch Doctor does all of its damage by grouping enemies, and with Forceful Push it flows them all back. So the exact opposite of what you want. It's just really bad. Charm's much better, definitely go Charm. Then we have Powered Armor, increase armor by 3% and slowing melee attackers by 60%. So armor is really good on the Witch Doctor. I've noticed, like, I'll get Jade pieces will drop, and you know, some are upgrades, and if they have decent rolls on them, I'll go ahead and roll something like life regen or something. I'll roll that to armor, and it's helping my survivability a ton. Like, you know, even as you're going up in the higher, greater rifts, you know, some of the stuff that was one-shotting you is now not one-shotting you, and it's great. It really helps with your survivability. So 3% extra armor is really nice. The other option is reducing ranged attacks by 6%. You know, to be honest, when you do get killed, it's going to be stuff outside of your control range, your Horrify and Piranhas. It's, you know, like skeleton archers sniping you and stuff. That's usually what's going to kill you, but I'd much rather have 3% armor is going to help more, you know, and it's 3% armor against everything. It's not just 6% against ranged attacks. I'd much rather have this. The powered armor, I think, is way better. For the third skill, we got Disorient. This is an AoE, and it basically makes a group of enemies not be able to attack, not be able to do anything. They just kind of sit around and wait for you to kill them. So 2 seconds is plenty of time on a Witch Doctor. You got 2 seconds, that means you can walk into the fight, you know, burn through your skills twice, and then, you know, if they happen to still be alive, you can get out. But honestly, they're probably going to be dead. So fantastic for crowd control. The other option is a really small amount of damage and then 3% increased damage. You know, 3% increased damage is okay. I just much rather have the control. I'd like to control things, you know. So this is way better. It's going to keep you alive more, and you're also going to be able to do more than that 3% damage while the stuff can't even hit you. So really good. Her last skill is her best one. It's another AoE crowd control. It turns a bunch of dudes into chickens. For one, it looks cool. It's kind of funny when they're all chickens, but for 5 seconds where they're gonna be, you know, chickens, and you can still cast all your other stuff like piranhas, and it'll actually group up all the chickens right where you want them, you know, and then do your damage. honestly, before this spell wears off, anything is gonna die. Like, it shouldn't take you more than 5 seconds to kill any group that she can, hex. So this right here is her best skill. It's really good. Do note that it doesn't work on like Rift Guardians and stuff. So um, it's mostly for like trash mobs and stuff like that. She can turn like blues into chickens, so that's really good. If you're not sure how followers work, like gear-wise, stat-wise, stuff like that, the biggest thing to note here is crit hit damage. So your follower with no gear on will start with a crit hit damage of 50%. And the most you can get, she caps out, she has a limit for whatever reason, of 150%. So all you really need to cap her out at 150% is a good focus. If you can find an ancient focus with a solid intelligence roll, because intelligence is going to help her damage, more intelligence is great. You can also roll a crit hit damage of 100% onto this bad boy, and that's going to automatically give you your 150% crit hit damage right there off of one item. So that's going to free up all your other gear to where you don't have to roll crit hit damage. You can use other better stuff. For the weapon, Enchantress cannot use a offhand weapon, so you're stuck with either a two-handed weapon or one-handed weapon. Two-handed, obviously, I think is a little better, especially if you can find an ancient. It's going to roll much higher damage, much higher intelligence, and you can get a socket, and when you get a socket, you're going to throw a ruby in. Do not go emerald, because we are capped out at 150% crit hit damage. Emerald will not do you anything, so make sure you go ruby. Other good options, so best in slot I think would be furnace, obviously, but that is super rare, and if you do find one, you're probably going to be using it. So but if you happen to find one that you're not going to use, definitely put it on here. The elite damage is really good, and the overall damage is really good. The reason why the elite damage is so good, you're going to want to roll a Bakathos wedding band for one of your rings, and the reason why is the affix. You drain life from enemies around you. So there's a fancy equation, I don't remember where I saw it, but it basically ends up being about 2000% weapon damage per second. So that's huge, and it also scales. On top of that, it scales with elite damage, physical damage, and critical hit chance. So you want to stack all those: crit hit damage, crit hit chance, physical damage, and elite damage. That's why I say a furnace would be so good here. Or if you have a really badass Sunkeeper or something, like a little one-handed Sunkeeper, even though the damage roll would be less and the intelligence roll would be less, it's still going to add a ton of damage just because of this ring. For your second ring, both rings you're going to want the same stuff. So you're going to want crit hit chance, a socket to where you can put a topaz. So you want 3 topazes, both rings, and an amulet, and that's going to give you the most intelligence you can get. But you're going to want intelligence, crit hit chance, a socket, and depending on what ring you use, a good option, and it works great with Bakathos, is a Stone of Jordan. It's got elite damage, it can roll with physical damage, those both scale with it. You can have intelligence, and then also roll a socket for your topaz. That would be ideal. This one isn't there, and I'm not going to use this one yet because I don't know if I want to use it later and roll something different for my character. But you can use a Stone of Jordan, is really solid, or Unity. I mean, Unities are great if you have 2. Your follower can wear one, you can wear one, and it's going to increase your survivability. But again, you just want those stats: intelligence, crit hit chance, socket. And for the amulet, you're going to want the same thing: crit hit chance, intelligence, socket with a topaz, and preferably physical damage roll. And that's about it, and that's going to scale scale her the best she can be. Like, sometimes she'll be out of range of this Volcathos, but a lot of times she gets trapped and she does a ton of damage with it. And on the longer fights, like a Rift Guardian or something, she's going to be close enough to where this is going to be proccing, and it's going to do some serious damage. Like, even with this really poorly rolled gear here that I'm using, and that's again just because I'm working on so many different builds for the Witch Doctor that I'm low on gold and materials and stuff. So haven't even been given her, you know, or even re-rolling her items. It's just kind of like, if I have something in my inventory, I'm like, oh yeah, I got a follower, and then throw it on her. So, but even with this gear, she's hitting for like 20 to 25 million. It's really good. And if you, like, let's say you're pushing higher grade of rifts where the Rift Guardian's taking 5 to 7 minutes to kill, you're pushing those higher grade of rifts, she's doing like 8 to 12% of your total damage. She's gonna shave off like 30 seconds in a longer fight just from having her geared up. So that's why I think followers are really cool. Plus, it's, you know, it's nice to not have to make Forgotten Souls out of this stuff, right? But they do help a ton. If you're running a greater rift and you're coming up short by like 5 seconds, 15 seconds, and you're so close but you just can't quite get it, go ahead, gear up your follower, and I guarantee you're gonna make it. Like, that's how good they are. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you guys found this useful. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I mean, that helps me out a bunch. And yeah, that's about it. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked, please leave a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.